back, drink a beverage, and enjoy some live theater.
Everybody, don't mind me. I'm just getting my babushka on. Daniel, thank you so much for saving my spot. Oh, let me explain. No good Polish woman ever goes out without her babushka. There's got to be something between you and God. And there is not a whole lot between me and God these days. Just this very long line to get into heaven. Okay. It keeps getting longer. People keep dying. It used to be that we would all share stories, to pass the time. Some of these people, they have been here a very long time. They got some fascinating stories. But these new people, somehow they are on their phones and they don't even look like phones. How is that a phone? There's no dial, there's no handle. I wonder if when the phones die, they end up in this line too. That's a good theory. And they're on this thing called TikTok. And I don't understand that because there are no clocks involved. So what is ticking and talking? And then there's this other one that they say is for the old people. So, I should know what it is. And I don't understand it. Maybe one of you lovely people can help me. It is blue. You can like things. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Facebook.
Yes. Okay. Help an old woman out here. If people want to look at faces, why don't they look around? There are all of these faces, new faces even. And the book. How is that a book? That's not a book. That is a book. Oh, like The Secret Garden. That was my great-grand-niece Kati's favorite book. Oh, it is one of her friends who is one of the ones in this line who is always on her phone. I mean, really, how hard is it to say hello to your neighbor, Hi, how you doing today? How did you die? I can't believe that I am still stuck in this line, waiting to get into a heaven I never believed in. I have searched, for all the other lines that are supposed to exist. Reincarnation, nice black oblivion. But no, I am stuck in this line with all of these Polish Catholics who keep asking me about my story, and I don't want to tell them my story, and they don't want to hear my story. Thankfully, I don't know how, but my phone seems to have immortal battery life, and it is the only thing keeping me sane up here. Maybe there's another video of a cat on a trampoline I haven't seen yet. Oh, no, I want to listen to some Natalie Merchant. Oh, Kate and I used to sing this one all the time. These are the days. These are the days we will remember ever before and ever since have run. That friend of Kati's, she goes on and on about not believing in God, not believing in heaven. She's not supposed to be in this line. I hear her all the way over here, And we did not die anywhere near the same time. But I got another theory. So, sometimes I hear her singing, oh, and she has the voice of an angel. So, I think when those gates open, she's gonna whoosh in and become an angel. I know! It's a good theory, don't you think? I don't think she would agree with us, but I don't care. This is what we do. We wait. Would you all like to hear a story? Okay, good, because that's my favorite way to pass the time. Oh, I know. I've already been talking about Kathy. I will tell you all one of my favorite stories about I used to take it to the racetrack on Saturdays. Do you all have a racetrack here?
Yes.
Yes? Oh, exciting. What is it called?
Portland International Raceway.
Portland International Raceway. Is that for horses or for cars?
Cars.
Ah, I'm talking about horses. Do you have one for horses?
Portland Meadows.
Portland Meadows. Okay, so I don't know if your Portland Meadows is anything like our Meadowlands racetrack, but ours, you had two choices. You could either sit outside and be very close to the horses, or for a little bit of money, not much, mind ya, just a little shmushki of money, you could sit inside with these huge floor-to-ceiling windows and a buffet. So, on Saturdays, I would get my very big purse and I would pick, you know where I'm going with this. I like how you all think. So, I got my very big purse and picked up Kathy, went and paid the little shmushki of money and let her go and decide where we were going to sit because she was so particular. She always wanted to be very close to the finish line and see if her horsey won. And it did a lot of the time. She was very lucky with the horses. So, while she was doing that, I went to the buffet. And I loaded up my plate with all of the different soups and salads, and they had all the fancy things, you know, all of the different candied seeds and berries and stuff, and I don't know who their bakery was, but their hard rolls were the best, and I got a really good bakery, but mine weren't anything like this. And I could never decide. Did I want ham and cheese or roast beef? And so, you know, I would just do both because we were there all day. And the desserts. Oh, so many different types of brownies. And then they did the fancy ones with the berries on top. And so then, of course, Kathy would go and fill up her plate, and we would eat. And then, of course, we would decide, you know, what we were going to place our bets on. And then I would give her our money, and I always made sure she had $2, you know, so it could be fun. She could take that $2, turn it into 5, 10. One time, she won $25. $25? What's an 8-year-old kid gonna do with $25, huh? So by the end of the day, our bellies were full. Our pockets were very full. And my purse was very, very full. And then I would take Kathy home, and she would run right upstairs to get ready for bed, put on her jammies, brush her teeth. She never gave Janet any trouble. I'm like my kids, but that's another story. And then when she was all ready, Janet would go upstairs to read her a bedtime story.
Chapter 1. There's no one left. When Mary Lennox was sent to Misselwet Manor to live with her uncle, everybody said that she was the most disagreeable-looking child ever seen. That's true, too. She had a little thin face and a little thin body, thin light hair, and sour expression.
I can't believe that she is telling another one of her cutty stories as if she's the only one who ever did anything to help the family. Her name isn't even Cutty, it's Kate! Ugh. I was Kate's best friend. I'm the one who was with her for all of our teenage angst, and we understood pain and death and... Okay, fine, we were a little off on the death part, but everybody thought we were lesbian lovers. That's how close we were. And I really wish we had been, but there was this one time when she was giving me a ride home after rehearsal one night, and that was already kind of weird because I'm older, so I had my license first, so I don't know why she had a car why she had a car that day and I didn't, but whatever. And the tension in the car was so thick, I was certain she was gonna kiss me. But she didn't, and I didn't, and years passed, and I brought it up before I was going off and marrying this guy. And I asked her if she remembered that night, and she said yes. And so I asked if she had wanted to kiss me, and she said yes. So I said, well, why didn't you? And she said, I didn't want to ruin our friendship. Uh-huh. I thought she didn't like me, but no. Horse tracks, really? Ugh!
Her hair was yellow, and her face was yellow, because she had been born in India and had always been ill in one way or another. Her father had held a position under the English government and had always been busy and ill himself. And her mother had been a great beauty who lived only to go to parties and amuse herself with gay people.
I loved listening to Janet tell those stories. It just wafted down the stairs, you know. I got another theory. I think that's why Kathy became a performer. I will explain. So, when Janet did those stories, she would do all the different voices. Ah? I think it's a very good theory. So, while she was up doing that, I would empty out my purse and put away all of the food that I had collected. Because, let me tell you, after Jim Wish's accident, they had so many medical bills, I had no idea how they paid for food. Things like butter, so expensive. But at the racetrack, it comes in those nice little gold foil wrappers, so you just take that handful, toss them in your purse. No fuss, no muss. So, I would get all of the food put away, and then if it had been a lucky day, I wanted to share some of my winnings with Janet, you know? I don't know why. She would take the food, but she wouldn't take the money. And now this was a big problem because my sister Helen, may she rest in peace. My sister, she did not do too good after Jim Mush's accident, and I understood. You know, she had already had so much in her life. Her daughter, Joyce, drowned when she was only 13 years old. And then, of course, Jim Mush also got hurt in the ocean. And Kathy was 8 years old when Jim Mush got hurt. And Jim Mush was 8 years old when his sister drowned. So it was just too much for my sister, you know, but she still wanted to help out the family, so she would give me money to pass on to Janet. But Janet wouldn't take my money. I tried tucking the bill under the sofa now and again, but you know, if there was already a bill there, it was a little strange to add another one. And I don't know why she couldn't just leave her purse out like a normal person so I could just toss a couple bills in there. But I got lucky one day. I arrived early and I saw Janet take a $5 bill out of a cup to give to Kathy. So, I may have a few times over the years for Helen, may she rest in peace. Oh, my sister, she had the good fortune to die during Holy Week. Oh, I think some of you might actually know why that's important to us Polish Catholics. Do you know why?
Lots of food.
Oh, there is lots of food, but no, we got an even better one. So, we believe that if you die during Holy Week, that week leading up to Easter, you get to cut to the front of the line. I had no idea what a big perk that would be when I was alive. My sister, she floated up on this cloud of incense and choirs of bells and floated all the way to the front of the line. I can't even see the front of the line. She floated right past me, didn't wave hi or nothing. Some people have all the luck.
She had not wanted a little girl at all. And when Mary was born, she was handed over to the care of an ayah, who was made to understand that if she wished to please Mem Sahib, she must keep the child out of sight as much as possible.
Joyce! 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 Thank you for saving my spot, Daniel. I was looking for my daughter again. You who dwell in the shelter of the Lord abide in his shadow for life. Call to him, my shepherd, my rock, in whom I trust, and he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. May the Lord be with you. We lift up our hearts. Today's reading comes from Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 8. Give thanks in all circumstances, for that is the will of God through Jesus Christ for you. All circumstances made me think of the Mura family. How can they be thankful Jim got hurt? How can they be thankful they went through $1 million insurance policy? Thankful they had $1 million insurance policy. Many of you know I am one of the ones who goes down and sits with Jim each week, gives him communion. And Janet and I had a much longer commute down this week. Shore traffic is starting early this year. When I was there, I was reminded of the passage in Corinthians. But my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Jim has so many weaknesses, and therefore so much power, if only we can see it. We can when we look in those bright eyes of his. Now he can even boast about it. Many of you were at the student-faculty basketball game a few weeks ago, and all of the money there went to buy him a speech pack. And so now he can type into it with his one good hand, and it speaks for him. What a comfort. Janet said on the ride home that it was the first time they had been able to have a conversation in over a year. Quite a comfort. And so much that the insurance doesn't pay for. So, today we are going to have a special second collection for their family. And if you are able, thankful for what you have and the body you have, I hope you'll give a little something towards their comfort. Make sure you give them something. I had no idea any of that was still going on.
All right. I don't got any more cash. I gave it all in the first collection.
That's not all right. I want to do something for them. I didn't know it was still going on, and I just feel awful. They live really near us, don't they?
Yeah, like 2 towns over in Woodridge.
Oh, I know. I will just go over one day this week, and I will bring them a casserole.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in
Thanks, Tony.
your eyes,
Lasagna's my favorite. Thanks, Elaine.
Found like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. known Kate like forever. No, really, forever. Because her mom and my mom were in this thing called La Maz or La Leche or something like that together, and she was born first. So, forever. And her dad's accident couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Because when my dad was being dumb hanging with his Harley buddies, Jim was right there with me, teaching me how to lift weights properly and all this stuff. And we had to move down to the shore, and that was really lame because none of my friends were there. But then Jim got hurt, and his hospital was like 5 minutes away from our house, and so sometimes Kate and her mom would come, and we would all go to the hospital, and sometimes they wouldn't let us in because they don't let kids in the ICU. And then those days, Kate and I would just wander around the hospital, and one of them had this like garden in the center of it with all of these trees and these ponds with all these fish, and we would sit on the little benches and watch all the fish, and Kate would sit really close to me and talk about how it reminded her of her favorite book, The Secret Garden. And one time my dad was actually really cool and got me a boat for my birthday. And so, of course, I wanted to take Kate out on my boat. And for once, my mom was actually really, really cool and said yes, as long as we stayed on the lagoons and didn't go out into the ocean at all. And so I took Kate onto my boat, and we went all up and down all the lagoons, and we caught all of these crabs for dinner. And then she asked if we could go to the ocean. And she never asked for anything, and so I took the boat right up to the edge where the lagoons ended and the ocean began, and we just stood there for a while. I don't know why she wanted to go back to where her dad got hurt. But then I wanted to make sure that we had enough time to go home a different way. And I'm so glad I did! Because we found this island that I had never seen before that was like this huge sand dune. And we climbed all the way up to the top. And we found this great place to sit and watch the sunset. And she sat really close to me. And I wanted to make sure that we got back home before it got too dark because I didn't want my mom to get mad and ruin this really, really awesome day. And when we got back, my mom took all of the crabs and made this huge feast with garlic bread and garlic butter and salad. And we never ate like that when it was just us. When it was just us, we had TV dinners, and none of it would have happened if Kate's dad hadn't have gotten hurt.
Mary had stepped close to the rock, and suddenly the gust of wind swung aside some of the loose hiding tails, and more suddenly still, she jumped toward it and caught it in her hand. This she did because she had seen something under her. A round knob, which had been covered by the leaves, hanging over it.
All this talk of food has got me hungry. Any of you nice people have any food? I see lots of you got nice beverages, but what about some food? No? Not even one of those crinkly candies they're always telling you to open up before the show? You're all a very good audience. Oh, this is delicious. I love peanut butter and dark chocolate. Ooh, I'm going to hold that for later. Oh, it gets the place of honor. Thank you. Now, I am sure that once those gates open, the food will be divine. But until then, The craft services in this line? Phew. Forget about it. I know that smell. Oh, that's Tony making his lasagna. Oh, Daniel, would you please hold my spot for me? Tony's making his lasagna. Huh? I'll bring you back a piece. Oh, where are you, Tony? I can smell that lasagna. Oh, there you are. Oh, look at you. Still making everything from scratch. The pasta, the sauce. Oh, look at you kneading that dough. I love a man who can cook. So, why are there so many Italians named Tony, huh? Well, I'll tell you. It's because when we got on the boat, they wrote 2NY on our foreheads. Yeah. That was my kid's favorite joke growing up. Thankfully, they didn't love it as much as they loved my lasagna, but let's be honest. I don't think anybody loves anything as much as they love my lasagna. And it makes sense, you know. I still use my grandmother's recipe. Long, slow simmer of the sauce with all of the herbs and spices and the chicken bones. After Jim got hurt, I really wanted to do more, you know, but my kids, they had me all over the place with band and soccer, dance, cheerleading. I can't even remember it all, but I was making a lot of lasagna, you know? So I would just take an extra one up to their place. It's the least I could do. Later on, Kate became a vegetarian. So I couldn't use my grandmother's recipe for her anymore, you know? No chicken bones. So I made 2 lasagnas and made sure there was one she could eat, you know, to take up to him. It's the least I could do. And my kids, one winter, they pooled their money together and bought me a snowblower for Christmas. So, you know, after I cleared our walkway, I just go up the block and clear theirs, you know? I mean, they got a corner lot. Has a lot to deal with in the best of times, you know what I'm saying? I guess when Kate got older, she could have done it, but at that point it was kind of nice to get out of the house, you know? My kids, they had all grown up and moved out, and my wife, she got the cancer. So Janet and I had a lot to talk about in those days, because no one should have to watch the one they love wither. But for a while, my wife and Jim, they had the same pharmacist, you know? So if I was going to pick up our prescriptions, I could just pick up his at the same time, you know? It was the least I could do. I just had to make sure I didn't, you know, mix up the prescription. That's the least I could do. Joyce. Joyce. What good is being first in a line that doesn't move? friend, as a lone enemy here, enemy here. And I swear that I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun. As you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as a friend, as a lone as you are, as you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as a lone enemy. But it wasn't really a blackout. It was this whoosh of energy that flew down the stairs, flinging my hand out of the way, scattering the pills everywhere. I don't think one got in my lap. No. Throwing me into the other room and onto the sofa and sitting on me. My ghost. Daniel. We'd been lovers in ancient Rome, making love in cypress groves and palaces. When he died, he stayed with me. I can still see him. Brown hair, green eyes, leather skirt, always with a shield. Always shielding me. never understood. I never understood the music that they listened to. I mean, whatever happened to a nice polka, right? Jim, he used to play such a good polka, and we would all dance, and, Tracy, here you are. You should tell this part of the story. You were there. Fine. I was the one who found Kate. April 1994 sucked, and not just because Kurt Cobain died. We would normally, talk, for an hour or so after school, and for some reason that day we didn't, and I just felt like taking a walk and ended up at her house. I don't know, maybe it's because I knew she was having a hard time of it or something, but I just let myself in because the door was open, and I found her crying on the sofa surrounded by pills. And I just held her for what seemed like hours, but I don't actually know. Then we cleaned everything up and put all the pills back, and by the time her parents got back from the opera, it was as if nothing ever happened. No one ever knew. But I kept a really close eye on her after that because I was not about to let her go first, and after seeing what it's like up here, I am so glad I did. But at least she knew after that she always had me. Always.
What was this under her hands, which was square and made of iron, and which her fingers found a hole in? It was the lock of the door, which had been closed for 10 years, and she put her hand in her pocket, drew out the key, and found it fitted the keyhole. She put the key in and turned it. It took 2 hands to do it, but it did turn. She held back the swinging curtain of ivy and pushed back the door, which opened slowly. Then she slipped through it and shut it behind her and stood with her back against it, looking about her and breathing quite fast with excitement and wonder and delight.
You may judge me, but I did what I could. I'd already had so much in my life, you know? My daughter Joyce drowned. My husband had all these heart attacks and strokes. And before the accident, Jimush was so strong. You know, he was a bodybuilder, always hiking and skiing and swimming. And then afterwards, he was just so it was too much. But I still wanted to help out, you know. My sister Stella, she was so good. I could give her money and I knew she would pass it on to the family, you know? I could do that. Sometimes Stella would bring Kathy over and I'd make us grilled Swiss and tomato sandwiches. I could do that. It was one of those times
over lunch that she told me what had happened, 'cause she was there. I don't know how such a small wave did so much damage, you know? I mean, who doesn't get hit by a wave when they're swimming in the ocean? But she said he was complaining of a headache. So we walked out of the ocean and then collapsed on the sand. She said she didn't know much, but she knew that ears, noses, eyes, and mouths weren't supposed to bleed. Oh, that an 8-year-old kid should see that, it was just too much. So, you may judge me, but I did what I could. I did what I could. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed in these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I couldn't say anymore. But I love you. Yes, I love you. I love you.
strange things about living in the world is that it is only now and then that one is quite sure one is going to live forever and ever and ever. One knows it sometimes when one gets up at the tender, solemn dawn time and goes out and stands alone and throws one's head far back and looks up and watches the pale sky slowly changing and flushing and marvelous unknown things happening until the east almost makes one cry out and one's heart stands still at the strange, unchanging majesty of the rising of the sun.
So that's my story. I hope you all liked it. I know, it wasn't all happy, joy, but life's not like that, you know? Oh, Jimush! Jimush! Oh, we have been waiting for you! Oh my gosh, I am so happy to see you. Wait right there. Oh, Jimush, this is the best part about dying. You get to see all of the people who loved you, who came before. Hey, everybody! Jimush is here! Jimush is here!
Jim! Hey! You want lasagna? My place in line is down that way, huh? Least I could do.
Oh, I don't know how he does it, but somehow his lasagna is just as good up here as it ever was down there. Jimush is here! Oh, Helen. Jimush is here.
Jimush.
She didn't have a whole lot to say in life, and she doesn't have a whole lot to say in death either. You know, some things never change.
Oh. Hi, Mr. Mura? Jim, I don't know, welcome? I don't know if you're actually ready to be up here or not, but your place in line is going to be way down there. And let me warn you, this line sucks.
Oh, don't you listen to her. This is a very nice line full of all sorts of people who are going to be so excited to see you like I am. Oh, hold on. Daniel, would you please hold my spot while I show Jimush around? Oh, Jimush, this is something you can do too. Jimush, Daniel, Jimush. Daniel is Kathy's guardian angel. And it's great. He'll hold a place in line so we can, wander around, get to know the place, meet all of the people, and... What are all of you still doing here? You're not dead. You can go out into the world and be good people. Maybe make a lasagna. Okay, I'm sure many of you will be on your phones. But, at least say nice things, huh? Maybe say something nice about my story. Have a good night. Jimush!